All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Helm meeting for July 18th. My name is Robert. I'll be your moderator for this event. This call is recorded. If you don't like it, please drop off now. As anything else I need to say, this is recorded, so be nice to everybody. All right, so our first announcement's from Karen. Karen is not here, so I think we can jump to discussions in case Karen comes back later, but I can mention hers, but she won't be able to do justice. We are talking about CFP project presentations are due July 22nd. I will put the link in the chat here, copy it, but it's also in the notes for anybody who would like to put your CFP in. And she has highlighted Project Lightning Talks, Contributive Fest, Maintainer Talk Fest.
Yeah, so the maintainer talk track needs to be submitted by an org maintainer. And so this is our talk for the whole thing. So this is the thing that we need to organize. We don't have anything in. I'll go ahead or throw something together. So I can volunteer to take point on that. I don't know if anybody else wanted to jump in on that with me, who's a maintainer.
Do we have any other maintainers in the call?
We got Joe Julian here.
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm not scheduled to go to the conference.
Okay, so I'll take point on running with this one then, and reach out to folks. So I'm glad Karen brought this up because it looks like it's due Monday. So we better get on that. So I'll make sure it gets done.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. There's no other items within announcements, so we'll take this moment to move on to discussions. Evans, you have one about an issue, but no merged PR for resolution. I will put it in the chat. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. This is an issue I noticed as I was just going through known issues, and it was closed by the bot, but there was no way, and there was no known resolution, so there wasn't a way of reopening it, so it got lost in the ether. Yet there wasn't a known resolution. So I'm just wondering what's the process around that, or is there a way to reopen? Should users in the public just reopen issues? Yeah.
So for people who don't have it open, this is to add alias support for OCI charts. Matt, you have comment on it? Do you have on the issue itself? Do you have any context for the group?
I entirely don't remember this, and that's probably because it's almost 3 years old.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work today, let's see, what was it? Add alias support for OCI charts.
Well, the question was more on closed issues that folks.
So for closed issues, yeah, the bot automatically does close them, and we are open to having them reopened if people care about them. We do have a tag as maintainers where we can pick something and say, no, leave this open, and anything for V4 is automatically kept open that we can say is for later. This is the kind of thing that would be actually great to have a pull request on.
Yeah, there's a HIP for it.
Is there? Okay.
Where is it? Here. What was that? And a pull request for it. All were pending.
Okay.
I see there is a PR in there.
Yeah.
I will say though, with over 300 issues that are constantly in need of triage, if you want to have an issue reopened, coming here is probably the best way to do it.
Right.
Who is the original author on? I don't think so.
No, it's really old.
Okay.
Stefan was the author, but doubt he's here.
All right.
But yeah, so the issue is reopened. So if someone could sort of take a look, see probably Andrew. I think Andrew is on the OCI registry space.
Yeah, he's usually the one who does that. So be good to poke him on this. This adds the pull request adds a whole new command set and everything.
Yeah.
All right. Be good to move on. Hold on, Rajesh, put something in here. What is this one?
Yeah, Robert, if you allow me, then I can explain.
All right.
So we had a discussion on this issue, I think last year, and but because of my colleague dropping off, I could not follow up on it. But Matt, if you recall, we were pending review on this, where we want to support charts which exceed kind of 1 MB limit. So the Kubernetes key secret storage has 1 MB limit, right? And we want that it could be stored in multiple secrets. This PR allows that to happen.
Okay, this is great. I had missed that this pull request had come through, or I had forgotten about it. So, yes, this does need to be reviewed. Thank you for bringing it up. And I just added myself on as a reviewer. I'll take a look at it and provide feedback.
Awesome.
Thank you, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, we actually, Evans has another, he wants a nudge on this pull request here. I will add it to the chat. This is 11273. If you can open and we can talk about it. Evans, floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Robert. Yes, yet another one. I think this has been reviewed. It looks like the comments have been addressed. Essentially, it's being able to preserve when you want to create a starter. If you have a starter repo and then you create your Helm chart from a starter repo, it cleans up your entire chart.yaml. And so this is adding a new flag that allows you to keep the metadata that is in your starter repo chart rather than clearing it out. This is documented as a limitation of the Helm create command, but then this PR sort of adds a flag to allow people to override that functionality.
I just as just noticing it, we have one reviewer is Matt Farina. Do we have anybody else who can do a review of this as well?
Yeah, I can take a look later.
Awesome, thank you, Joe.
Joe?
All right. Let me help note that. All right, I have individual named French Ben. If you're on, I believe French Ben is on the call. I will put the name
I'm
of.
here. Just brought up an old PR back. I know that Matt, you had like tagged it a couple times for like the release, and I was trying to figure out if there was something that was holding it from making it into an actual release.
This one. I remember this is so you have idempotent builds of charts, right?
You got it.
Yeah, I like this one. It had to go with a flag. And to be honest, I haven't looked at this one in so long that I don't remember. This one, oh, I remember. This has to go behind a flag to do it this way because you're changing the mod time within the tarball, if I remember right. And that's going away because that's one of the time is the thing that is making it. So I think we had discussed, and granted, it's been a long time since I looked at this one, but I think it had to go behind a flag until Helm 4 because
Gotcha.
the time is being set in a way where you don't actually have the correct time anymore. And because that's what keeps doing it. There might have been something with ordering, but I think it was time was the big issue.
Yeah, there was also some ordering for it where I think there was like some sorting that just didn't happen that prevented some of the SHA. So yeah, I can add a flag. Any preference on the flag that you want?
I would just go look at what we've done so far. I mean, the whole idea is idempotent, and so maybe just a flag idempotent when we go to do this would be enough. And then
Okay.
in Helm version 4, we could talk about making it the default. But it was one of those changes to the build because the build does end up being a little different with the time inside the data inside of it.
Okay. Cool.
That was it.
All right. We have nothing, no hips to review. Does anyone have any shout outs while we're on the call? Social media publication. Oh, Charlie here. I'm not sure how to get on the list. Hi, Charlie. The easiest way to get on the list is to update the Helm notes, and then we'll read off of that. I'll put the link to the Helm notes in the chat for future reference, but we can take a look at this. Charlie, the floor is yours.
Gotcha. Thanks. So the issue that I posted talks about a couple of things. What I care about the most is just weighted manifests for a single chart. But it also looks like it may have some dependency on subcharts as well. I think some folks have come here and asked questions about this before, and there were concerns, but it wasn't captured in GitHub. So I'm looking at what we can do to what the next steps are, I guess, for this issue.
Yeah, let's see a look. Matt or any of the maintainers have any insight on this? Give me a minute.
I'm looking, and give me a minute.
While you're doing that, I will add this. Oh, you already did. All right. Well, we give Matt a moment. Anybody have anything else before we move on to assignments for next call? Give Matt time to do that. I can take moderator unless someone else wants to. Do we have anyone for notes or triage issues? Issue triage and PR review?
Yeah, I can take triage.
Thank you, sir.
I'll work on some PR reviews.
Thank you, Joe.
So on this one here, I have to dig deeper into it. My intuition is that it's complicated because one of the things we have to make sure is we don't break backwards compatibility because so many people use Helm. This is not a startup project. You break existing users, then we have to deal with them, right? The support burden, all of that stuff, answering questions. So, there's a big thing on don't break users. And then at the same time, do something in a nice, elegant, native way. Because, we all know that Kubernetes it's supposed to be declarative. Ordering shouldn't matter, but that is not reality. And so sometimes ordering does end up mattering. And how should you approach that? So, yeah, we'd have to dig into this deeper. I know I won't have time in the next week. Somebody else might have time in the next week, but I know that I don't. But I can put this on my to-do list. It'll just be a few weeks before I get to it, or a couple of weeks.
Sure. Thank you.
I mean, I mean, it sounds super complicated, like something that would require a HEP.
Yeah, it'll require a HIP. But is there a HIP for it already? There is a HIP for custom resource ordering already sitting out there.
Okay.
So, and it's
I mean,
included
Which
in
is
there.
looking at
partially related.
Yeah. So,
only partially. Honestly, I was gonna say maybe we should start there, and if there needs to be changes made to that to support this,
Yeah.
that might be the best place.
Somebody's got to go sort through this stuff and give guidance, I think, on the direction.
French Ben, you put in a small question. Should it match Argo annotations? Is this referring to the PR that you were discussing earlier?
No, just to the one that Charlie just mentioned in regard
Okay.
to like the weighted manifest, just because Argo CD kind of does some of it through their like sync wave and how
Mhm.
like everything has like that zero like order. So if this is something that works well for like Argo CD, it could be a place to look for inspiration.
Yeah, and Argo is interesting in the way it's different. Helm is a package manager. It is not configuration management. It is not a continuous, it's not a deployment tool. It's a package manager, like, apt, yum, homebrew, things like that. So the minute we start crossing into things that really belong in, other kinds of tooling, right? Their config management tools, those kinds of things, then maybe it's a place to rely on those other tools because there's various ways you can handle some of it. So some of it's really about,
I
not
think he
scope
would.
creeping here.
I think he's not scope creeping, but applying the same type of pattern that they do at Argo
Yeah.
to Helm. I think is what he's mentioning,
But
sir.
yeah, and that becomes a radical change for Helm because Argo then communicates out more than once. Helm communicates out to the API server twice. Once if there's CRDs, because CRDs need to be loaded before you put any custom resources up, and then once for the custom resources. To add an ordering phase to that where you've got different waves is actually quite a significant difference. And that's the kind of thing that would need to go into a Helm 4, probably rather than a Helm 3, just because of the internal architectural changes that'll need to happen. I think we'll have to break APIs to pull that off.
Yeah, and Argo doesn't actually use Helm. Argo takes the template out, but breaks it all apart and does its own thing with them. So
Yeah, that's another thing that Argo has, but yeah. I was just looking at something that does some kind of ordering today.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And that ordering may actually solve some of the other problems we have. It's just a Helm 4 kind of thing, because I'm pretty sure we have to break APIs to pull it off.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Anyone have anything else before I move on to finishing out the assignments for next call? Silence is golden. Any core maintainers that will be present for next call?
I should be here.
okay, well,
All right. Matt, you want to do notes again?
Sure.
All right. No one has anybody. I've actually taken more notes than you have, but I'm not sure if
You
noticed that.
have. That's the by the time I get there, you have the notes in there. So
Interesting. All right, gentlemen, and everybody else who's on this call, thank you very much. We can adjourn early, give you everyone some time back, and we'll see you guys next week.
all right. Ciao.